fuel, give me fire, give me that which I desire. All right, welcome back to Wind Tunnel TV in the Extreme Power League. Tonight we're at Chicago in the Chicagoland 175 as these guys take the next gen cars out for the second race in a row, and they're already up and gridding. I'm Dean Doucette, joined of course by Mr. Adam Newton. Adam, getting ready to fire this one right up.
Yeah, it's going to be an exciting race tonight, Dean. We got a really good, really fast racetrack. Looks like the field's got a pretty good setup under them tonight. Should be some good racing.
Indeed, it should be. Let's get right into the starting grid. Dylan Caryer in the number 7 will be starting on the pole. He's got a little hashtag out there, Justice for Tonga time. Interesting tag he put up. A time of 30.677. Jason Chilton will start on the outside of row number 1. Starting in row number 2, it's Cody McRae along with Matthew Leiter. In row 3, you got Keith Long and Daniel Monahan. It's William Mann in the 57 starting 7th, along with Joe Gregory on the outside of row 4. Al Reed starting 9th. Kevin Menepace will be in 10th. And then it's William Mann Jr. along with Brent Patterson being row number 6. Row 7 is Childs and Osborne. You got Willis, Mangapudi, Tong, Wilgerson, and Condi. A couple of these guys being sent to the back for some little hand slapping there. A little slap on the hand for them this race, Adam.
Yeah, it's always nice to be on your best behavior, but every now and then you got to be naughty.
To be naughty and you get the little punishments, so we'll see how they do from the back. We know we'll keep an eye on Willis and Tong. Willis, your points leader, starting back in 16th, but up front Caryer and Chilton was fairly, I believe, newer here, and he looked quite good last week, Adam.
Yes, he did, and it looks like he carried that speed over to this week as well.
It does indeed. So Caryer and Chilton will lead them down. Pace cars off, and we are green flag racing here in the Chicagoland 175.
Well, Dylan Caryer got an excellent restart, and he's leading the field down into turn 1. They're side by side behind them. Looks like some guys are going to be riding that neutral high line to try to save the tires early.
Back towards the back, we go 3 wide. Looks like the 29, a man junior coming down the middle. He's going up towards the front in a hurry.
Oh, absolutely. He looks like he's got a hot rod, ding.
He's trying to chase down man senior there up ahead in the 57 in the red car, so he's already made it up to his bumper. Man junior picked up 4 spots right out of the gate. Up in front of him, it looks like Long's in a battle with Chilton, so Long moving up here early. And we learned a little bit last week about these next gen cars. Not too sure you want to press too hard, too fast here, Adam.
Yeah, that, and I expect a lot of the same thing with this car this week. Draft seems to still be important, and it's hard to pass. But the other thing, Chicago's a really unique track. You can either run really, really low, or you can run high and get an excellent run off the corner. But the way the cars are looking right now, I think they might be a tick on the loose side, because it looks like guys are kind of trending to the wall up in the corners.
Yeah, seen a lot of high side stuff, and we seen that a little bit last week too. Be interesting to see if anybody migrates down to the bottom. I've always been a bit of a bottom feeder there, Adams, but I don't know. These guys seemingly like the high side.
Yeah, I think it's a good way to manage a right front, especially at the way things are starting off. It looks like this could possibly be a good start to a long run.
Well, Cannon and Cody McRae sitting in second, but Dillard Carrier way out in front here. So these two have checked out. There's Long and the rest of them all bunched up, and I don't know if they're running them down. It doesn't look like it at this moment. Check in a little further back, and you got back here, you got the number 5, Nicholas Tong, and Phillip Willis up in front of him. So your points leader's up 3, Wilkerson's up 4, and Wilkerson almost contact with Tong there.
Yeah, it looks like the cars might be a tick free on the exit of 4 right now, Dean. I noticed a lot of guys are really trying to be really smooth and kind of carry it high on the exit, and I think that'll get a little bit more detailed in driving the longer the run goes.
You see Chilton moving back up to third, and I think you're probably right. And we're already starting to see a shift here. This is not by any means into a long run here, but there's starting to be some movement, some comers and goers as Keith Long gets trapped way up high. They go 3 wide off the corner, 4 wide almost.
Ooh.
They were 4 wide, a little touching, a little beating and banging back there, as I believe that's Leiter. Matthew Leiter was in the middle there, and a little bit of contact with Mann Jr.
Yeah, Keith Long scrubbed the wall, but it looks like his car didn't have too much damage. It didn't. The fenders look like it's still on it right now, but that was a good recovery by those guys.
Oh, and right in front of Leiter, that was Patterson, I think. Patterson was moving up the track a little bit, or moved up the track perhaps by Leiter. I'm not sure who was doing what to who back there, but it's getting awful racy here early in this race. Lap 9, beginning of 1:15. Carrier out front, Cody McRae in second. It's Chilton now asserting himself into third. William Mann got a fight here from Brent Patterson, who drifts up the track, almost gets into Mann Sr., and then gets a little loose and saves it on the outside. Now Leiter trying to take the position away.
Yeah, this is a hard race in the middle of the pack right now. It looks like they're really trying to get every inch of the track that they can right now to try to make a pass.
Yeah, it looks like they're trying to carry momentum here. We're thinking about going 3 wide on entry. No, it looks like Patterson backs out of that.
Yeah, right now I noticed the mover of the race for me, Brent Patterson. He has a handful, but he's been coming to the front slowly.
Oh, and Mann Sr. up the track, and he gets into Leiter, checks up after getting loose. That blocks Mann Jr., and they go 3 wide behind him. Looks like Phillips coming up through the crowd already.
Yeah, it's very intense right there on these corners.
Super the guys intense here.
The guys I look right now, and I'm kind of wondering if they're playing some strategy, Dean, on like fuel. It is a little bit early to think about this, but I'm watching Scott Wilkerson, Julian Coddy, and Jessica Childs, and Jeremy Osborne. They seem to be playing a kind of methodical strategy on fuel right now.
Yeah, they could be hanging out at the back. Hard to say for certain if that's what's happening. Back to this main pack, my goodness. But let's look up front. We've got a battle. Carrier, Chilton has run down Carrier, and now he's making the pass. So Jason Chilton to the point. Wow.
I like what I saw to his car earlier, Dean. He had a lot of speed.
He had a lot of speed, but it looked like he came out the first few laps at him, and he backed her down just a little bit, letting 1 or 2 guys go by him, and now he's come right back to the front. How important is that in these cars to go, to not overdo it in those first few laps?
I think he did the racer's rule, or a good racer's etiquette, where he was like, okay, guys, have at it, burn your stuff up. I'm going to race my race, take it easy a couple laps, and I'm going to let the race come to me. And that's a heck of a statement to run him down like that.
It truly is a statement, and he is walking away.
Yes, he is, man. He's already opened it up to 6/10 of a second, and just continuing going. I mean, he's got a lot of speed coming off of the exit. That's what I've been noticing. He's going in very nice and smooth, and getting a heck of a run on the exits.
Well, I haven't been watching him too much these last few laps, but he was running the bottom too, and I think that'll pay off on the long run here. Oh, and we got contact at the back in the pack. I think that was Patterson again coming up the track. I'm not too sure. Looks like it put McRae, is that the 21 of Cody McRae, up into the wall. Great job of saving that vehicle, and they continue to ride.
Right now, I'm seeing McRae is wiggling on entry, so I'm wondering if the cars are getting really loose in on exit, on entry right now. And I mean, he looked pretty good off, but they look really loose going in.
Well, that's where racing a certain line can really cause you problems. If you race in the high line, for instance, lap after lap, now this isn't true on every track or anything, so don't take my word for it, but between the high line and the low line, you can develop either a loose car or a tight car. Some of the best might switch back and forth a little bit to keep that balance at them.
Yeah, I love to run two different lines at this track. Run a higher line in 1 and 2 to save my tires and get the run down the back straightaway, and run a lower line in 3 and 4 so I can get a run. But these guys are eating the wall up on exit right now on turn 2, and Cody just hit the wall again right there. He's got his hands full.
He is struggling here later in the run. Couple guys.
Oh, he just got in the wall again, Dean.
So Cody's having problems. Guys who are not, though, Tong and Willis. Tong moving up in a hurry, and Willis, our points leader, right there with them. They are up 13 and 9 spots, respectively. William Mann Jr., he's up 8, but starting to get run down now by Tong.
Yeah, and those guys I was talking about, Dean, earlier, they're starting to come to the front. I think they've saved the gas, they saved the tires, and now they're starting to make a move.
They definitely are making moves. Man Jr. holding off Tong there, but I don't think he can hold him off much longer. The 5 looking strong. 29 comes right down, pinches him down just slightly there. They come off the corner, so Man Jr. doing a real nice job, and he's going to make him work for this.
Yeah, but you got to look ahead to see Jason Chilton. He's cut on the rocket burners. He is out of here, folks. He has pulled a 2.48 second lead on these guys.
He has, but both Tong and Willis have come up from the back, so there are going to be factors here later in this race. As you see, Tong makes it around Willis and now works on Leiter. And Tong having connection issues as well.
Yeah, I was going to say, he blinked out for a good little bit in that last corner, Dean. But it's some good, still really competitive side-by-side racing, middle of the pack right now. I mean, some of the guys, I think they've burnt this stuff up maybe a little bit. I really like Matthew Leiter. He's running a different line. He's being smooth, and like you said, Phillip Willis is making his way up to the front as well.
Yeah, Phillip Willis coming. This is where it gets interesting for me. Lap 21 of 115, and after about 20 laps, you kind of find out who's who in the long run. So right now, and we got yellow, so much for that. And that is our pole sitter. Dylan Caryer has lost it. I'm not sure what happened. We'll get a look in on that right away.
Yeah, I saw Dylan lose it, and then also William Mann Jr. knocked the wall down in 4. I don't know if
they just contact. That was the 42. That's Kevin Menepes. So they come on an entry. Carrier may be down a little too low too early, not too sure, but Menepes gets in him. And then the 84 of Joe Gregory gets a hard lick off of that.
Yeah, I was just listening to race control. Um, Minipace thought he had him cleared and just got him, so he's going to have the EOL at the beginning of this restart. It's tough luck for him, man.
Not sure how Menapace would think he's clear. He hit him in the rear end, but nonetheless, interesting comments there. Everybody on pit road right now. Pit stops taking place. Service on Chilton going down. You see the left side's going on. Willis just pulling into his stall now. And wow, Chilton barely beating Al Reed out. So Reed with a great stop along with Man Jr. Tong will restart fourth. Leiter in fifth. Willis up to sixth. Let's
That was
see
a
this
really
pit
good.
stop by Willis.
That was a really good pit stop of those two guys.
Interesting, because I seen Willis come in. It says he had a 19-second stop, but it looked like he got in late. I might have had the wrong car there. But Albert Reed with a 10.4, Jeremy Osborne with an 8.3. I don't know, but I'm thinking these are two-tire stops here, Adam. How do you think that'll play out for these guys?
I'm nervous about a two-tire stop with these cars. I've had in the past that two tires with the gas, they seem to be extremely loose. But let's see if they can hold on to it.
You see Carrier and McRae still on pit road. Tough night for them. But yeah, these two-tire stops make me beyond nervous. I think that's a bad call, but who knows how that might play out later on. I mean, Al Reed got himself some track position. 21 lap old tires though on one side of that car. Ugh, that's going to be tricky, Adam.
Extremely tricky. And, you know, and the other thing I got to wondering about with I mean, this is a gutsy move. Maybe the clean air will help them. I know it looked like these guys, if they sniffed the clean air, they could get around them, but they could stall each other out real bad as well. I
It's a
don't know,
great
Dean.
point. I mean, the aero on these cars is highly influential. So, yeah, it could be what he was thinking, but he didn't get the front, and that was big because Chilton out front now. But you know, if Chilton holds true to who he is, he's probably going to take it easy the first few laps. Osborne thinking better of his two-tire stop is back on pit road. I think he's going to grab two more. I think that's wise from Osborne.
I totally agree with that. I think that's the right call. The two tires. I'm thinking it more and more over. I just with the way these cars are and how everybody's shown that they're kind of tricky already. I think that's a wrong call.
He's putting on all four this time. He might have completely not taken any tires. That would have been very dangerous. But he'll start at the back here. He'll have the full gas and tires and be ready to go up front. It's Chilton, Reed, Man Jr., Tong, Willis, Leiter, Menapace, Man Sr., Condi, and Patterson in the top 10.
Yeah, they're getting them all tightened up for this restart. Gonna be an exciting one.
Gonna be good. Let's hop on board with Kevin Menapace for this restart here. Menapace back in 7th position. Pace car off the track. They go. They were using the Geico restart zone. There they go. You see some wiggling. Tong looking to make some moves. He's
Jason got a hell of a restart, Dean.
Leiter got one too. Chilton is down and away, and there goes Tong through the corner. My goodness.
I think they're regretting that two tires for sure now. Looking at that restart.
Yeah, Reed's already down to 7th and falling. But up front, my goodness, man, and Tong are flying up to Chilton. Chilton trying to save a little tire. Here comes Willis. So these guys already up to the front.
Oh, yeah. Didn't take them long. Oh, here's Man going for the lead.
William Mann Jr. to the point, and Chilton holding true to what he does. He is not going to burn them up. I love what we're seeing at it from him.
Yeah, that's a smart driver right there, Dean. He's taking it easy. I expect he will be right back up front here in a little bit.
He probably will, but he's got a little stiffer competition now with Tong and Willis being right there, right behind them. There's a pack of cars doing battle. You got Leiter, Menapace, Gregory up and in here now. Here comes Gregory on the low side, and we've seen some speed out of him last week.
Condi's worked his way up into this group as well from the back of the pack, Dean. He's made some really good gains.
And what I'm seeing from Condi is he seems like he's willing to take it easy here on the early part, and I think this is wise. Save that stuff. Wait till later, and he'll work his way towards the front. But right now, it's William Mann Jr. out front.
Yeah, that 2 tires definitely didn't work. Albert Reedus fell all the way to 15th place, Dean. I mean, that didn't work, man.
That didn't work at all. Track position, no big deal, or it didn't work out. Osborne, who had the late stop, still back here, but he is managing that car. He'll come forward eventually. Up front, the battle now for second. Tong is there. It's battle for third, I should say, as Chilton continues to fall on the outside. Here comes Gregory. So Chilton, saving tire is one thing, but how many positions is he willing to give up here?
I would say he's just going to let them go completely. I mean, I just can't. I wouldn't put myself in this position to burn my stuff up. I think it's the wrong time.
I think it makes for a super interesting race. You see Mann's out there leading and doing well, but Gregory really pushing that car. How's this going to play out for him? Tong looks to be kind of, once he got by Chilton, he's like, wait a minute, what's he doing? I think I'll slow down a little bit.
Yeah, and I see, Patterson is doing the same thing. Patterson's kind of riding right now, taking a high line, slowly coming up.
Yeah, the 9 of Brent Patterson up on the outside, and he's making moves now around Chilton. So Chilton continuing to fade. Super interesting here.
Yeah, these guys are, and I like what you said about running that low line earlier. And you notice that the guys that are really good at the long run right now, they're sticking to that low line, Dean.
They definitely are, and I think that's exactly the right thing to do. But the guys who are running fast right now, Gregory and Patterson, are giving it all they can. They're trying to get everything here early, and they have run down William Mann Jr. Here goes Brent Patterson, and he is moving in a hurry. He might be taking the lead. And we got some great sponsors here, people. I want you to go over and have a look at Speedmaster Boats, championship winning design and world record setting RC boats. We got Butt Kicker as well. Everybody knows good old Butt Kicker. Go get yourself one of those. MD Sim Racing for custom button boxes and steering wheels. MD Sim Racing has everything you need. Pay to win setups, also a great setup shop. Have a monthly subscription. Go check them out. And for all your custom logos and vehicle wraps, Shorber's Racing Graphics is your place. You got Beyond the Apex as well. Please go share their streams and subscribe to them on YouTube. That's Beyond the Apex. Right now, Tong's starting to move forward. Chilton's starting to move forward. These bottom feeders, and they're a little slower out of the gate, but they're starting to come in a hurry.
Yeah, I like what I see out of these guys right now to see how well that William Mann can hold on to the lead. But I think that I think they're going to end up overpowering him very soon.
I think definitely Man probably went out a little too hard. Tong and Chilton look like the main players, but don't count Willis out. He's making a move, and we still haven't figured out what Brent Patterson's got. But look to me like he's running a little too hot early, but he's running a different line. Way up the track, and he's into the wall a little bit there on entry. Battle for the lead. Tong and Man slugging it out.
Yeah, they're side by side going into one right now, and it looks like Tong might have the advantage coming out of two.
He's got to be careful here. It's still early. No need to throw it away. Look at that drive off, though. Just clears him, and he's gone.
Yep. But Chilton is right there with him. I think Chilton's being a little bit more conservative.
Chilton being a little more conservative, and we'll see how that plays out. I mean, the 5 looking so strong, though. Willis, they're right there with Chilton. So can Man Jr. hang on, or how many spots will he lose? He didn't go out super hard, and he had clean air. But Adam, it's seeming if you don't back it down here for 5 or 10 laps, you're going to be in trouble on the long run.
Yeah, it looks like huge trouble, but the magic switch is getting ready to be flipped. We're not too far off from being on a 20-lap run. So we're really going to see who's going to have the long run set up. And something's going on with Julian Conde right now. He's hitting in. He hit the button. So I don't know if
Conde, wow, he's coming back on the track. Conde's having all kinds of problems. He's got some kind of issues at his house or home. Oh, and he's up the track. He's wrecked someone. That's Al Reed that he wrecked. What is going on with Conde? That is a shame for Al Reed. My goodness.
I'm not sure if he's having... It looks like he may be having some issues right now, Julian. I mean, Dean.
Absolutely, he's having issues. We just pray that it's nothing physical and it's something, that is just maybe his wheel disconnected or something like that. These things do happen in sim racing. You could have an interruption from Windows or something if you don't have those settings correct. All kinds of things can go wrong in sim racing. But that was awful odd. Let's get a quick look on it here. So we'll back up a little bit here.
It looks like he missed getting into pit road, Dean.
Well, 2 guys come and split him out of the corner, the 21 and 44, so he's already well off the pace here, heading down into 3. And then those 2 in front of him have some pretty severe contact. Conde pulls off, seeing that contact, then tries for pit road, can't make it, goes into the grass, promptly comes back up on the track, and just keeps... I mean, he's driving, he's out of control a little bit, and he gets Al Reed. Just, what a shame for Al Reed.
Yeah, he's having a tough break, man. The 2 tires and now this, I mean, that just... Wow. It's not what I expected. He had good speed earlier on. Sometimes you got to have lady luck on your side, though.
Yeah, who knows? This could play out for him. So Reed came in. It looks like he's the only real guy. Carrier was in as well, but he's a couple laps down. Here we go. We got some pitters now. And we also got some guys not pitting, so this is going to really shake things up here in this race. You got Man Jr., Patterson, Menapace, Gregory, all on pit road. Now there was about 20 laps put on these tires, so a little surprising to see guys not coming in, but probably some limited amount of sets of tires here. Not sure if we have that information, Adam, but be interesting to know how many sets of tires they do have.
Yeah, they are limited to 4 sets.
So 4 sets, I
Or
mean, it's a pretty long race. I don't know if you want to use your second set this early in the race. Lap 43, not quite halfway here. So some of these guys choosing to, some not. But yeah, that was an odd caution there from Condi. Not sure what happened.
well, they have one reset, and hopefully he can use that and get back out there with these guys. I hope he hadn't used that already. Um, that's a tough situation, and I know that Cody McRae also had a little rough up during that time too, Dean, when they were coming off a 3. So I know he's already used his quick repair.
Yeah, he did. He had a little contact there with Osborne. And you see Osborne there. I don't see any real damage for him. These guys get lined back up and ready to go back racing. It's Tong, Chilton, Willis, Leiter, Monahan, Gregory, Man Jr., Man Sr., Wilkerson, and Keith Long in your top 10. Be super interesting to see. Now that you got the fastest long run guys at the front, are they willing to push it? Who's going to push their way to the early lead only to give it back up? It's going to be, we're going to find out right shortly, Adam.
Yeah, and with these new tires, you got to watch out for the guys. They're going to be blistering through the field. The guys that took 4 tires.
Well, that's the other thing, right? 20 lap older tires, no chance but to take it easy. This is interesting. This has really shifted this whole race around.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see who can take off.
Green flag, green flag.
Well, Tong got a good jump, but the rest didn't, and here comes Leiter already moving to the outside. So Matthew Leiter up the track when Chilton just drives up right in front of him. I'm not sure. He must have had enough room there. Leiter way out of the gas. He's going to fade back. Willis up to second. So Phillip Willis, your points leader, moves into second. He'll be chasing Tong. Chilton is settled into third. Monahan in the 53 has made his way up to fourth. Him and Gregory now into fifth.
But the one thing that is going to be really, really good to see with the guys that stayed out there, yes, they have 20 laps on the tires and can go around 40 or so laps on gas. If you did come in and get tires and gas, how or when are you going to pit to come and get the fuel if you're up front?
Yeah, I mean, we're going to have to wait and see how that all plays out. But I think if we were to go green is the big question. Can we go green? If it went green, I think these guys who didn't pit are in a world of hurt. But if they get a caution, it's going to flip everything on its head.
But the one thing that we haven't seen, I thought we would, the guys that did pit, they haven't shot to the front yet. I mean, Patterson's making some moves, but several of the other guys, they just hadn't got there yet.
That is interesting. I mean, tires maybe not as big a factor as we think they are. You're right, Patterson making moves. He's now into third, and he's starting to work on Willis. You got to think he's going to go straight to the front here, especially as these tires heat up. You see already, he's driving right around Willis, so these tires need a couple laps to get some heat in them. But Patterson's moving now, and he is bringing the 16 with him. That's Al Reed. Al Reed's down a lap, so Reed looking to drive up here and drive by perhaps Patterson and get his lap back the old-fashioned way.
Yeah, hey, and more power to him. I mean, that's really good. That way, if caution does come out, he can get the lucky dog, or he can get his track position back. Because he's one lap down, so he did get around him.
Wow, and they both just drove around our leader, Tong, one on the inside, one on the outside. So Patterson now, your new race leader, and he's got Al Reed on his back looking to get his lap back. Behind them, Willis still in third, Chilton's in fourth, and then you got Kevin Menepace sitting in fifth position.
Yeah, Al really just made a power move right back around Brent Patterson right there. So he's back on the lead lap, Dean.
Yeah, he's looking for the lead lap. Carrier also looking to get at least one lap back. I think he's two down. So Carrier trying to make moves as well as Patterson tries to hold him off. This could be big for both the 7 and 16 as they get a lap back each here right now. But, well, actually, Carrier would not get a lap back. He has to get around Reed. Super interesting. Well, maybe he would. I'm not sure at this point. I got some Canadian math going on here, Adam. I'm getting confused.
That's a good. I was going to be rough on you, but I'll be nice. You know how the Canadians are with the math. But, but I'm really liking what I'm seeing out of Jason Chilton. He's still, and I was thinking that since he saved his tires, this would pay off for him, and so
Well,
far it is.
I mean, yeah, but you are focusing on the third guy. I like Chilton too, but you got Willis right in front of him on the same strategy, and you got Tong on the same strategy, and he's way up in front of these guys. So Tong looking pretty good, and some of the other guys, a little surprised we haven't seen more guys drive up here. You've seen Patterson drive up, and you've seen Carrier and Al Reed kind of drive up here. Carrier's checking out now. I mean, he was our pole sitter. I don't know what problems he had in the first run, but he got in all kinds of trouble. He was getting loose all the time.
Yeah, and one other thing we got to look at. I mean, Dylan's now one lap down, and the rest of the guys have basically lost about 6 seconds to the leader, and I don't know if maybe they can try to make it, Dean. I mean, that's kind of gutsy, but it's worth a shot.
Well, I tell you, it won't be a whole lot more laps before some of these guys got a pit already. It's going to be interesting as we're approaching the halfway mark. We look in on Kevin Menepace in the 42, currently in third position. Chilton now starting to do what Chilton does, and that's move forward. He's in fourth. Willis in fifth. You got Leiter back here in sixth position, and then Gregory, Mann Jr., and Wilkerson start to do battle.
But we saw a similar move like this from Brent Patterson when he won at Bristol. He was one of the few guys that rolled the dice and said, well, yeah, it might be this time of the race, but I'm going to come and get tires. And it's paying off for him right now.
You got to give him credit. I mean, you know me, Adam. I always say you got to do something different. If you're going to follow the leader, you're going to follow the leader. So get off schedule, do something different. Even if it's not your comfort zone, you might as well just try something different. If you're interested in winning races, it's a risk. It might pay off in a bad way later on, but right now, Patterson in great shape, all alone on the track. Carrier has checked out a bit up in front, him and Al Reed. Reed's starting to run Carrier back down, but Patterson is your leader. Tong still not able to run him down on those older tires. Menepace third, Chilton in fourth, and Willis in fifth. I mean, they're getting spread out here on these different strategies. It's getting interesting.
Yeah, and I think there's some guys that are drafting too. That's what I would be doing right now. I would follow in behind a guy, draft on the straightaways, kind of take it easy in the corners, let the car in front of me pull me around, and whatnot. And I kind of see that from some of the front runners, but that mid pack is really working hard together, and they're making some moves.
Well, we're looking in on Scott Wilkerson riding on board with him. William Mann Jr. right in front of him, along with Gregory. And these three are they're running different lines in the corners, but they seem to be content holding their position here, Adam.
Yeah, and give a shout out to Jessica Childs. She's making moves. She's in 10th place right now, started 13th. Got a very good, clean car. Just biding her time.
Yeah, Jessica Childs, we hop on board with her and see her riding this high line. She's looking pretty racy right now. She's got some good speed middle in the corner, not getting off quite as good as the other guys, but Jessica on the move.
And it looks like the lead is kind of stabilized right now. Brent has settled in. He's got a 2.5-second lead, and he's just maintaining. But Kevin Minapace is going to be putting a lot of pressure on Tom right now to get that second place position.
Well, Tong's putting pressure on him, actually. So, yeah, I think. Was it the other way around?
Actually, he just got around.
So, Menapace
he
up
just
in
got
a
him around.
second. Okay,
Yep,
so Menapace with the fresher tires are paying off, but you have to be impressed also, Adam, with what Tong, Chilton, and Willis are able to do on these older tires. These guys are hanging in quite well on 20-lap older tires.
They are. I'm really surprised at how they're able to keep pace right now.
Don't let us keep you up there, Adam. My goodness, the Sunday Yawns live on the air. That's Adam Newton. Anybody wants to send him personal messages, I encourage it. Please do.
No, my sugar's a little low, and haven't eaten my dinner yet, so makes me a little bit sleepy. But once they get this thing
just
heated
once
back
again
up,
to remind you, Adam, we are live on the air. William Mann Jr. back in 8th position. He's battling with Joe Gregory right in front of him. And Wilkerson, let's talk about Wilkerson for a minute. The 77 machine doing a really nice job here, and I always like these type of drivers that, we don't talk about a lot. You're kind of quiet, and that's usually because they're driving a nice, clean, solid race, Adam.
oh yeah, he's been rock solid tonight. I mean, car looks good. He's maintaining. He's picked up 9 spots since the start of the race. I mean, that's a good night.
That's a great night right now. Child's still hanging on right behind him. And Osborne, who early on was being very patient, still being patient. Osborne in 11th. Monahan has fallen back to 12th. Long back in 13th. Mann Sr. 14th. And Cody McRae rounding out your lead lap cars. While Al Reed has actually driven back and gotten his lap back. And then it's back to Patterson from there. You see, there's Carrier and Reed, both of them trying to get a lap back. Back to Patterson. Patterson maybe starting to reel them back in. Hard to say. Then you got Tong, Menapace. So Tong got back around Menapace. And here comes Chilton. Or no, that's not Chilton. Who is that going underneath there? That is Condi. So Condi back all of a sudden driving normal and has some speed. Interesting. Condi's had an eventful night to say the least, and he's up here rolling. I mean, he is several laps down at this point.
Yeah, what I was watching when you were going through the field, giving the breakdown, when Menapace got passed by Tong, again, Kevin was struggling. In 3 and 4, he's getting really, really loose right now, and it's causing him to fall back quite a bit.
You see our points leader here, Phillip Willis, back in 5th. He's up 10 spots, hanging in there on these older tires now. These guys, let's check our pit board. Guys like Phillip Willis back on lap 22, Adam. We're about 45 laps in. I don't think they're going to do, much more. And here, Willis looks like he's checking up to come into pit road right now. Ooh, and he's losing a little bit. Great job of holding on to it. So Willis comes down. He's our first taker on pit road.
Yeah, the 21's coming in too. I just heard over the radio. It seems like all those guys that were needing to pit now is it, but it's going to be a really cool situation to see. Can Tong, Minipace, Chilton, Gregory, those guys that stayed out, can they catch Brent Patterson and pass him for the lead?
Well, I think now it's going to be interesting because now the schedule will flip. Tong going to be having to come in along with Chilton here. We're on lap 69, so if you do the math from lap 22, that's about 47 laps. That'll bring them to the end of this race. I mean, Tong, and he's stretching it here too. So some of the guys who have come on, as you see Long on there, they might be close to whether they can make it or not. But Tong stretching this run out long enough, he will be able to make it. Chilton will be able to make it from here. So interesting how this is playing out. Patterson will have to pit again, and he definitely won't be the leader, but he'll have fresher tires. I'm not sure. What would you do if you're Patterson, Adam, and you see Tong, who's 2.8 seconds behind, say he comes in, next lap by, are you coming in to cover that? Or are you using this advantage you have of these tires, waiting a little bit, maybe 10 laps, and coming out with fresher rubber and trying to chase him down?
Well, I was getting ready to answer that question, Dean, and Tong just came in. He said that he's coming to pit road this lap. So if I was Brent Patterson, I would either pit with Tong or pit with Minipace or Chilton. But for me personally,
Tong coming on the pit road almost loses it. Wow, that was close.
with the speed of Tong, I would pit with Tong if I was Brent Patterson.
Well, it's interesting. Maybe, not willing to give up the lead, but Tong's probably faster. I'm not too sure. I think staying out for, if you're going to stay out, don't do 1 or 2 laps, do 10 and get
Yeah.
a
Oh,
big
absolutely.
advantage. Lighter on pit
Yeah.
road as well.
That way that Tong can wear off some of his tires, and then when Patterson comes back out, he can take advantage of his new tires. And I mean, look at how much faster Cody McRae is to Patterson right now. Cody McRae just came off pit road not too long ago, and he's just flying right now.
So super interesting how this one is shaking out. Patterson out here leading. Lots of guys flying around the track now, and this is where Patterson's got to be very careful as he's ran down Al Reed and Carrier. So Patterson now coming back on these guys who raced up to get their lap back. Patterson really putting his foot down, and he's loose off the corner. He has got to be careful here, Adam. You don't want to throw it away.
Oh no, absolutely, you don't want to throw it away, but I do. It's a gutsy call, and like I said before, he thought outside the box. Now, if he does this right, and say a caution comes out, you've got the fastest guys of the race right now a lap down, Dean. That's huge.
It is huge, and maybe that's what he's thinking too. Sometimes you don't want to be the caution, but you don't mind putting some pressure on some guys, and if they lose it, so be it. But I'm not saying he's doing that,
But no, I mean, it's a good way to be thinking. I mean, he is, like you said, caught outside the box tonight. And, I mean, he's leading laps, getting points that way. And he's got clean air. That's the key to me. Regardless of the wear on the tires, if you have a clean racetrack in front of you, why not stay out?
yeah. I mean, you're right. But clean air is huge. William Mann Jr. comes on to pit road, so he is in. And this is going to be more interesting for Patterson. He is on the same series of pit stops as him, and he's cutting it short. Patterson staying out. all along, you got guys like Tong and Willis, and they are coming, they're making up time like crazy. They will be the leaders. Actually, Chilton somehow has Chilton pitted. Let's take a look in. So Chilton
Let,
still
let
hasn't come in from lap 22. So it's not a
no,
gas mileage thing at all.
I'll tell you something that will be absolutely insane. Up, Brent Patterson's coming to pit road.
Gregory's in. Here comes Patterson. He is in. So, wow, this is getting interesting. Menapace out here is your new race leader. So, Kevin Menapace going to lead himself a lap or two. Behind him, it looks there. Look at Tong go. My goodness. As if he's standing still. Tong driving around, getting his lap back. So, he's back on the lead lap.
But you know something that I was wondering, with Jason Chilton and whatnot, he went at a slower pace. How much gas did he save, Dean?
Well, the gas is not an issue. I mean, he can't make it to the end. Yeah, I mean, that's
No, he can't. He
impossible.
can't make it to the end.
But I'm
But say
surprised
if the
he's
caution came
gone.
out,
He pitted 20 laps after Brent Patterson, and Brent Patterson's already pitted again. Chilton's still out here. Chilton playing a different strategy here. I'm not sure if it'll pay off or not, but he's coming down to about 45 to go. I think I like what Chilton's doing here, and doing what I like is that's not staying out one lap longer than say Tong and Willis, trying to do many laps longer. He comes on to pit road, a little wiggle, and he's missed the cone. Chilton has missed the cone. That'll be a penalty.
wow, and execution on pit road is huge. Brent Patterson did that flawlessly. So he's right now the last car on the. He's the last car, first car a lap down right now.
Yeah, Patterson. I'm not sure I like Patterson's strategy coming in. I think he come in too early. Here comes Menapace giving up the lead. That's going to hand it over to Wilkerson here. But Chilton has thrown his race away on pit road. It was going to be interesting to see what he could do with that fresher rubber. My goodness, Adam, you said it. I mean, execution on pit road is huge, and that was his race. I mean, he'd be lucky to be in the top 10 by the end of that penalty.
Yeah, and I'm kind of wondering now is Menapace going to stretch it out? Since Jason showed the way that hey, you can stretch it out. I mean, if I'm
For
this
how
far
long
invested,
if you got to run people down after, or you mean just to hold out and hope for a caution, perhaps?
yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Well, it's one thing. I mean, if you figure you're going to finish, say, 15th, but you're leading the race at this point, caution's your only friend. I say you stay out until these guys come up and pass you.
Yeah, and right now, I mean, those guys that just pitted, they have really made the best of their tires right now. Patterson is flying, and so is Tong.
Yeah, Tong absolutely flying. Here comes Wilkerson giving up the lead. Looks like he had a little problem with entrance there. Jessica Childs, your new race leader.
It's great to see her up front, Dean.
Yeah, the 19 got about a 3-second lead, so she's got to get out here and lead this lap, and that'll be about it. Tong already coming into the visual. We see Tong right there, closing in a hurry.
But I like that. I like different people out. It's smart. It's a good way to get points. It gets you on the camera, gets you hollered at from the booth.
That's it. Get a shout out to the MAD, Mothers Against Drunk Driving. Jessica Childs running for that. So good job of her getting out and leading the lap. She had a solid race, but it's Tong now. He's out here, got 31 laps to go. Willis up into second. Al Reed currently shown in fourth. We got to look in on our pit board here to see Al Reed. Last pitted on lap 40, so he needs to pit here shortly.
It seems like the whole field at pitted. They're within that 10 to 15-second mark. Um, I don't know. I'm wondering if possibly did they stay out too long?
I think they probably did. It's hard to say. Too long or not long enough. Kind of caught in between here. We've seen what these guys could do with 20 lap older tires, though. Tires not that big of an advantage. I think you probably should have come in earlier. It's hard to say. Patterson flying right now. But how about Matthew Leiter? So Leiter back in fifth position. That's interesting. And somehow, some way, Chilton is shown in sixth. I gotta think, if I'm not mistaken here, that black flag was cleared for Chilton. And, well, let's just say I don't agree with that. But nonetheless, it makes it interesting. Oh, and Chilton's wrecked by the 77. Wow!
That
He holds on. Wilkerson got into him. So Chilton, as soon as we talk to him, give him a little bit of the commentator's curse there. Wow.
just when you think you're moving forward.
Well, I think it's one of those things, if you didn't earn it, you made a mistake on pit road. Now, I could be speaking out of turn, but I'm certain he missed that commitment cone. That should be a 40-second hold during green flag conditions. And that would not be, he would be a lap down. So, and yellow comes out. Wow! Everything has been shaken up. My goodness. It looks like Monahan with a problem. Let's get a look in on that.
This is going to be kind of crazy because Brent Patterson's only going to have one set of tires left.
Monahan on the high side, Osborne up, and they get together. There you go. Looks like nobody else involved. So yeah,
I'm wondering how.
Go ahead, Adam.
No, I'm wondering how many guys have only one set of tires left. Because if you have this and then you have a back-to-back caution, man, that's huge.
Well, let's look at some of these guys. It looks like Tong has pitted twice. Patterson looks like he's been in three times. As has man, and Tong loses it after not coming in.
Wow.
He does get under the cone.
Wow.
What is going on? He was going to stay out and then seen everybody coming in. Darts left, almost misses the cone. At least his race isn't over, and he is fast, so we'll see how that... And he misses his stall.
Look at this. Patterson stays out.
Patterson he was just in, so he stays out. He was in on 77. Menapace in on 80. You got Long stays out, who is pitted on lap 68. Willis comes off of pit road first. Leiter comes off second. Tong beats Man Jr. Chilton's still sitting there. Chilton finally gets out. He beats Al Reed. Al Reed, who was a lap down, he's back in this thing. What is going on? Everything is shook up.
I'll tell you, Dean, this is an exciting league to watch. Because, week in, week out, there's always a huge twist to the end of the race. And I'm going to ask you, man, it's that time of the race. Who's your guy?
Who's my guy? We're not there yet. There's about 20 twists and turns to go, folks. Stay tuned for this one. But, I don't know. Like, I'm a points leader type of guy. As you see, Man coming in with Long. Willis has been quiet. He might not be the fastest on the track tonight, but he's definitely in the top three. And he's got position now, and he's a points leader. He knows how to close these things out. We've seen others make mistakes. That's why he's the points leader. So I'll go with our points leader. I'll run with the favorites, Adam.
I think I'm going to choose Brent Patterson, man. He's continuing to think outside the box, and let's see what can happen, man. I know it's a little soon to be choosing your favorite driver at the minute, but or choosing a winner, but I just like the cool strategy, man.
Well, I mean, I don't think he'd be the favorite by any means on older tires at this point, but that's yet to be determined. I mean, if we get another caution in about 8 laps or so, that might play right into his hands.
But you know the reason why I was looking at the tire thing. I mean, look how good Tom did on old tires. I mean,
Absolutely.
can you know if Brent can do that? Why not?
So you got Patterson out front. How about Kevin Menepace in the 42? He's shown in second place now. So the 42 having a heck of a run. He's running that Apex machine. Go check out them and check out their YouTube videos. You got
Heck, I wouldn't even
Willis and
count out.
Leiter.
I mean, look at this. This guy was a lap down a second ago. Albert Reed is back on the lead lap, Dean,
Albert
and
Lee.
he's in.
Chilton gets back in it a little bit. I mean, we got some. This is anybody's game. We seen what Man Junior can do on the short run too, Adam. So Man Junior's in it as well.
Yeah, I mean, and Albert was just a lap down a little while ago. I mean, that's awesome.
Yeah, this is some comers and goers because of that caution. Of course, Jessica Childs, Osborne, Wilkerson, Carey, they all got caught out by that caution. It really, really hurt them. But hey, what hurts some helps others. And Patterson and Menepace out here, we'll see what they can do on this older rubber.
Well, the race ain't over yet for sure, folks.
I
It's
don't know
just
if you
getting
have
it's
you
starting to
ever
get hot.
used a used rubber, Adam?
In what terms?
So Patterson and Menepace. Patterson down and away. Menepace slow off the hop. That checks up lighter. And Man Jr. brings Tong to the low side. Willis clears. Tong clears. So Menepace
Well, I
slow
know.
on the uptake, and he's up the track. Later fits it in, but no, gets
Oh,
turned on exit, comes down, and he's into Gregory. Gregory up,
oh
and that's
man.
gonna. Oh, and more carnage. Osborne driving in like he doesn't know there's a caution. What in the heck is going
Wow.
on?
And just that quick, Dean, the big one that can happen.
All kinds of mayhem. This is insanity.
Well, now I still like to call, but
Reed got caught
we'll.
up in that too. Let's see what happened to Reed. You see in front, there's the wreck. Reed and Long back here. Reed trying to navigate. Him and Long come together. Around goes Reed. Wow, hard lick for Reed. He worked so hard to get back up on the lead lap, and I know those pains. You know, I got to talk about it, Adam. I'm still traumatized. 3 laps down, I came back to sixth place on the lead lap, only to be wrecked. Very traumatizing. I'm still talking to my therapist about it.
Man, and Dr. Phil needs to talk to you.
I need
But
some.
no, on a
I
lighter
need
note,
some of his wisdom there. You know, two birds in the hand or something. I don't know what kind of wisdom Dr. Phil dispenses over there.
yeah, but that's a tough break for Albert Reed. I mean, he raced so hard and worked that entire run and got his lap back. Um, Maybe it's the broadcaster's curse, man. We just talked about him and what a great job he did, and hopefully he's got a fast repair if he does. But he's still not out of it.
And we had Connie Osborne out there rating on Jeremy. Jeremy was doing a good job, but unfortunately during that wreck did not slow up, did not seem to catch the wreck, and therefore um, put himself. You know, he got wrecked, is what he did. He drove right into the wreck. So, but otherwise was having a decent night. Let's look in on our pit board, see what's been going on here. So on lap 94, you got William Mann Sr. It looks like he would be the first one here. He's rocking around in that 57 machine. In front of him, or behind him, sorry, is Menapace and Child. So Child's back on the lead lap. Jessica getting the lucky dog here. So this is big for Jessica.
Yeah, and I'm, looking at these guys up front right now, Dean, I think if I was Brent Patterson, I would take the high side, let Phillip go down low, and block Tong, and have William Mann Jr. as my pusher. I think that's a heck of a strategy for this restart that is
Well,
going to probably be nuts.
I don't know what will work or whatever, but I like the way you're thinking, Adam. You got to think about these things. Who's in front? Who's beside you? Who you want to put below you or on the outside of you? How the runs will go. You got to think this through, and we'll see if Patterson has. He's got Willis. Man Jr. moved up like 4 spots during that restart or something, so he is right in this with Tong. I mean, Man Jr. might have been the fastest 20 lap car on the circuit, and really, that's all he's got to do from this point out, Adam.
Well, not only that, we really hadn't seen. This is a huge break for Jason Chilton, too. He caught the guys at the beginning of the race. He pulled away from the group. Let's see. I kind of wonder if he can do it again.
Well, I mean, he was a long run car, but we'll see if he could. Usually, a long run racer can adapt and switch it to short run speed, so we'll see how he does. Keith Long.
And you know all about the short run speed.
Keith Long, Cody McRae having good runs, 6th and 7th. You got Gregory back here in 8th, right where he started. And then, like I said, Man Senior, the first one to come on pit road here, he's in 9th, and Menapace in 10th. We'll see what those two can do. They might be big players here before it's over.
Yeah, I like that call by William Mann and Senior and Kevin Menapace. That's I like it. Rolling the dice. Let's see what happens. You're right here towards the end of this race. If we get a green flag stint, man, those tires could pay huge dividends.
So intriguing here. What's transpired here late in the race, and probably not done wrecking, I would imagine. As you get closer to the end like this, things get amped up. Guys will go 3 and 4 wide, and you're bound to see another one, and it'll shake everything up, no doubt about it.
I am kind of surprised that Patterson took the low line. He put one of the fastest guys on the track right behind him, so let's see how it works out.
I'm not sure if they have lane choice in this league, but Patterson and Willis, here we go. Geico start zone, and then Patterson down and away. Willis, a great job in 2nd, trying to hold off Tong, but Tong gets a nose underneath. He'll take the low line.
Yeah, and I saw William Mann Jr. make a hard block on Jason Chilton right there. He definitely had to do that because Chilton had a great restart.
You see the run on the high side early here as Willis trying to hold off Tong and work on Patterson at the same time. Willis with a big run off the corner. Takes a peek to the inside. Nothing doing yet. A 2nd peek. A 3rd peek. Here he is. Willis to the inside.
Those tires are playing. He's gonna fight back hard on this outside, folks. But that's only gonna last for so many laps unless he's saving some more tire than we think he is.
He's doing a good job, but not good enough to hold off Willis. Willis, the new race leader. Behind him, Tong having battles with William Mann Jr. Chilton starting to come forward. This is not over. 16 to go, but they really don't want to let Willis get away in that clean air on him.
No, and he can really dictate this race right now by doing that, and it looks like Tong is going to try to make a move on Patterson now in 3.
Yeah, we ride on board right now with Joe Gregory, and you see Chilton down there underneath Man with a big run on the high side. They go to split Patterson. My goodness, 3 wide here. How's this going to play out? Looks like Patterson concedes. The 84 makes a move. That's Gregory coming to the outside of him. Chilton and Mann still racing for all they're worth.
Yeah, and you said adaptation. Jason Chilton made a huge pass right there. He's driving a lot more aggressive than what we saw at the beginning of the race.
Yeah, he's adapted. There's no doubt about that. But Man Jr. was already a short run fast driver, so he's got his work cut out trying to work on him. 14 laps to go. Still Willis, but Tong is coming.
Yeah, and that just showed right there how bad the tires were on Patterson's car. He's falling back. He's in the clutches of losing 5th place right now, and I know that's got to be heartbreaking after leading so many laps in this race.
It's tough. I mean, he could get a caution here and have another shot at it, but right now, Tong to the high side. Looks like he's going to power on around Willis. Here comes Man Jr.
Man Jr. is putting the hammer down right now, Dean.
He is. 13 to go. Tong swoops down. He's your new race leader. Man Jr. trying to get around Willis. Chilton's right there. Gregory's right there. Man Jr. sweeping right around Willis. He does not want to let Tong get away.
Man, that is full of excitement up here now. You got Joe Gregory, Jason Chilton that's in this mix, and they're side by side, Dean. This is getting crazy with less than 13 to go.
12 to go. Willis hanging on. If he can hang on for a couple more laps, he might be in the spot to try to run down Tong. Gregory gets a piece of the wall. Chilton down to the inside.
Yeah, I think you're right. That lower line is really hanging tight right now, but I'm really impressed at how William Man Jr. is making that high line work slowly but surely. He's getting these really large runs down the back straightaway.
They'll fade, but not soon enough for Willis, because Willis is thinking, man, you're killing me. Tong's getting away, but Man's saying, hey, I'm racing too, and I want to get up here. And he says, you're killing me. So they both think they're both killing each other, and they're both right.
I think if I was Man Jr., I'd do exactly what he's doing and then try to break away from him to break that draft. But they're staying on top of each other too long, Dean. I mean, that's slowing them down, and Tong is saying adios, guys.
And almost contact there as Man Jr. finally gets a little bigger run. But no, through the tri-oval, it's going to be Willis coming back on him. So nothing doing. Chilton still working on Gregory.
And this is like Keith Long get in the mix, and he was one of those guys, that was real good at the beginning of the race and kind of faded back, and right now he's right back in the mix, Dean.
Well, now, can Chilton do something? We're on 9 to go. Tong is checking out, folks. So Willis got the track position, but Tong is gone.
Yeah, he's got a 5/10 of the second lead. Oh, we got one in the wall and one in 2, Dean. Oh, they wrecked him. Oh, wow. He saved. What a throw. He got one in the grass.
Keith Long in the grass. Still no caution. We continue under green flag. Willis actually hanging in there, fighting back, coming on Tong.
Wow. Changes real quick.
Things change in a hurry, so the battle heating up front. Tong, Willis, Man Jr., Chilton running out of time, back in 4th, Gregory in 5th. You got Patterson, he's 3 wide with Reed and Leiter. My goodness. Oh, and they come together. They're okay so far.
Looks like Phillips really trying to make a charge to get back to Tong's bumper.
Yeah, he's definitely trying to make a charge. I'm not sure he's got anything to get up here to him, though. Tong still leading. Your points leader, Willis, still in 2nd. Man Jr. holding off Chilton. Chilton needs a long run. There's only 6 laps left. Not going to happen for him, but he could get by Man Junior here as he stalks him and tries, and he's trying everything. He swoops to the high side this time, pokes his nose low. He's not sure where to go. Man Junior's got him covered right now.
Yeah, he does. He's really fighting for that bottom to try to get around him. I mean, to get this top three, it would be really cool to get it, but he's going to have to get it done pretty quick. The laps
Well,
get
he's
clicking now.
finally getting it done now, but it's maybe too little too late. And a little bobble that gives it back to Man Jr., so can't get it done. Out front, Tong. There's Willis. Tong's starting to pull away a little bit. So without a caution, it's going to be Tong and Willis in second, I think. The battle here for third is Ken, Gregory, or Chilton come back on Man Jr.
Yeah, Tong has hit the afterburner and said, "See you folks, I got this one."
Well, you talked about clean air, and we're about 10, 12 laps into this run, and that clean air is starting to really pay dividends here. And of course, great driving as well. We don't want to take anything away from anybody there.
No, and at this point right now, if I was Jason Chilton and William Mann, I'd just ride. I mean, have a good night. Don't wreck my car. Bring it home safe and clean.
Oh, I
Um,
want that point though, Adam.
yeah, I mean, it could be big at the end of the year, but
Oh, and
I
a
don't
little
know, man.
bobble from Man Jr., a little bobble from Chilton, and here comes Gregory. He says, "You guys gonna keep monkeying around? I'll take 2 points."
Yep, got two to go.
2 to go. Sugar Man needs his sugar rush. And we got Tong pulling away. You are the sugar man from now on. Willis in second. Man Jr. third. Chilton still there, fighting. 2 to go for him to do something with Man Jr. Gregory is backed off. He's settled into fifth. Reed. Whoa, Reed's off the wall. He's in sixth position comfortably, though. Everybody else a little further back. Final lap. It's Nicholas Tong in the 5, coming up 16 spots on the evening. The 5 car with a dominant performance here late in this race through 3 and 4. Coming out of here, he's going to be winner here in the Chicagoland 175. Willis will be in second. Man Jr. will hold off Chilton and Gregory. That's third, fourth, and fifth. Al Reed will come home in sixth. Brent Patterson will nurse it home in seventh position. You got Menapace in eighth. William Mann Sr. will come ninth. Cody McRae and Jessica Childs comes 11th on the lead lap.
Yeah, it was a pretty exciting race and whatnot, Dean. I thought it was going to be lost for a little bit, but I'm my pick didn't win and yours didn't either. So we're kind
No,
of struck out.
we struck out for sure. Tong, a very high talented driver, and he got out here. He played it smarter tonight, a little cleaner and patient, and here he is in victory lane. That's how you get it done.
And I kind of got a thing. He is running the 5 car. That's my number. I mean, he is burning it down though. He's doing a hell of
It
a
was my
burnout.
old number too, so I got some kind of claim to it. I think I don't know, but yeah, definitely your number, and it's definitely Tong's number. Nicholas Tong, your race winner. Let's stop and have a short commercial message from Shorber Racing Designs, and we'll be back with some race interviews. All right. Sure, but racing graphics. Go check those guys out. Nicholas Tong, your race winner. just doing a marvelous job here this evening. Last words on this race, Adam. Lots of switch ups here tonight.
Yeah, it definitely was, man. We had some movers and shakers, and uh, we had another consistent finish out of Phillip Willis, and that's why he's your points leader, folks. Um,
I did feel like I got
Whoa,
nudged out of the ordinary.
he doesn't know he's in the
sorry, folks.
transfer room yet. So,
Yeah, no, I think the big takeaway is patience, man. Patience win this race tonight for Nicholas Dahl.
yeah, I think you're right about that. It was a more patient effort from him and a great job. But right now, we turn our attention to the number 29 of William Mann Jr. What a race, William. You had a fast car up to the lead once or twice and a possible opportunity at the end. You settle in with a great third place finish.
Yeah, man. I didn't get enough laps in before all this stuff started. Wild weekend kind of took away from my time. But man, I always have a blast racing everybody here. So it was nice to kind of settle in and run some good times and start almost mid pack and work my way up to the front fast and have some fun.
Yeah, well, it looked like a lot of fun. You had a little bit of different strategies out there. Talk a little bit about that, what you were thinking. I mean, early on in the race, you definitely went out there. You looked really fast. Did it hurt the car? What hurt the long run ability of that car?
Yeah, we had a little bit of fender bender early, just trying to keep the damn thing, daggone thing, sorry, running right. But it all came together. The long run speed was there, man. I love these next gen cars. I love you can't lean on the arrow, and you can't just depend on different strategies you used to could. So week after week, I have a blast these next gen cars, just throwing that sucker in there. And I nudged up. I think Phillip Willis, who's the points leader. I love nudging on him at the end of the race because I was like, hey, I did it because it was fun. I didn't do it 'cause I was mad at you. I'm having a blast. I'm just trying to catch you guys. I'm late to the show, but man, I'm here to stay.
No, you had a great job of racing him and racing Chilton late and holding him off, running a little higher line. Talk a little bit about the pit decisions, though. We had different decisions later in the race with some drivers coming in, some not coming in. What did you decide to do, and when did you decide that I'm not coming in again?
Well, I pit early, not meaning to get tires. I was gonna get fuel and try to stretch it, and then I had tires. So then I was like, oh dang it, I didn't. My crew chief didn't help me out, so I said, all right, we got fresh tires. Now I got to send the sucker to the front. So we forced it to the front. The next round of pit stops, I just got fuel and gone. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna press it, but I'm gonna let guys go by. And then the last pit stop after that, I was like, all right, we're gonna take tires and we're gonna get back and we're gonna start bullying people the best we can and get back up the front. So we did the best we could, and I got it back up there. I wish I had a little bit more time, but man, it's still fun with these guys, man. I'm glad I got invited, and I'm never disappointed when I show up.
That's awesome to hear, William. You did a hell of a job. It's been a lot of fun watching you race tonight, man. Congrats again on third place. We look forward now. We're going to shift it up a bit. We're going back to Bristol, but we're taking the Legends cars. What do you think of that?
I think I love Bristol. I love short track racing. First off, I love anything racing involved, and if it's got a bumper, we're gonna use it. So I think we're gonna have some fun. I'm not the best with these legend cars, but we'll put a little bit of time in this week and see what we can do. And I always like to rise to the occasion. So cards are stacked against us with the guys doing better than me. I love it. I hope everybody looks better than me because that's what I need for me to go. Hey, now I have to rise better than what I usually do. So I always enjoy that. So hopefully we can do something with it, and always put on a good show.
I love it. Rising to the challenge, willing to use the bumper. I don't know, send a little message there, perhaps. But congrats again, William. And you got anybody you want to thank? Any shout outs you want to give? Go right ahead, brother.
Well, it's all like I said. As always, anytime I broadcasted, man's maintenance, our family business. We work on semi trailers and delivery vessels, FedEx, UPS, Amazon, anything but tires. I'll fix it. I'll make sure you guys get back on the road, and that's how we pay to play around here. Out of Charlotte, North Carolina. Man, Old Kent whiskey, my favorite whiskey to go. Sun Drop is the soda to go, and Coca Cola as well. So, man, just anything that we purchase or use, we always celebrate those things. So we
All right.
appreciate you guys.
William, man, with the full racing suit, all the sponsors out there, you gotta love it. A great third place finish there, Adam, from Mr. William Mann Jr., the number 29.
Yeah, it was a good finish for him tonight. He showed that he's got a good skill set for this car, man.
I believe you're with their second place finisher.
Yeah, we got Mr. Phillip Willis, the points leader, with his second place finish tonight, man. Looked like you had a great car. You made up a lot of spots. Give us a little feel on how was your race tonight.
It was tough. Now this is a good track. You got to watch your tire management here a lot because over time it really starts to push that front nose up towards the wall. So managing your tires and your throttle response in the middle of the turn to make sure that you can hold it down and keep it off the wall and exit is everything here.
Yeah, it kind of looked like when you got out front, man, it was clean air, everything here tonight at this racetrack.
Absolutely. Draft does not really work here a whole lot, so clean air definitely helps that nose stick it to the bottom when you want it to, and to get that runoff off the turn. But racing in behind somebody, it changes everything. So it was good racing. Congratulations to Tong for that win. I had nothing for him after William Mann Jr. and I were side by side for so many laps. I just was determined not to give up that inside lane. And I knew if he kept staying with me side by side on that outside, he was going to run his stuff up. And I think that's what happened. But all
Well,
in all, that was a good race.
you definitely put on a hell of a show up here in the booth for us, man. The side by side racing was awesome.
Yeah, I had to start in the back on this one because that missed shift last week, and I know y'all broadcasted a good race, and I hated that happened, but I knew I was going to be in the back of this race, so I was just hoping I could keep the car clean and get a good finish tonight.
Well, with you being the points leader, man, how do you feel about going into next week's race in the Legends cars at Bristol?
I'm not. I don't have a whole lot of wheel time in those cars. I know that I'll be there to run it for sure. I'll practice just like everybody else probably will. Yeah, that race will be interesting. There'll be a lot of bumping and banking. I'm sure it's going to be fun to watch.
Well, man, congratulations on your second place finish. I'll give you the floor to give you some, let you give out your shout outs and whatnot. And it was good to have you on board, man.
Well, thank you guys. I appreciate Wind Tunnel here putting this show on. It's cool to watch the replays on this. Y'all do a good job broadcasting. But I do want to give a shout out to MD Sim Racing, Pay to Win Setup, Speedmaster, and Showers Racing Graphics, and the admins of this league. They try to keep it as good racing as possible. But we put this Publix Toyota in second place tonight, so I'm just drinking a good cold Coca-Cola after this race.
Awesome, man. Awesome.
All right, that was Phillip Willis, our second place finisher and points leader going into the race. Now we turn our attention to the winner, the number 5, Nicholas Tong, from the back to the front. Congratulations, Nicholas.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
You bet, and a hello to you. Up 16 spots. Let's start there, Nicholas. Early, starting at the back. How patient were you, and what did you have to do to make it through the traffic?
It was oh my gosh, like where do I even start? um, going from the lows of last week and getting the penalty for that and starting from the back, you know, had to be really patient with it, a little shaken, well, not even shake and bake. I just went and baked the damn thing. Like that was fun as hell, I'm not gonna lie.
A little bit of bake and no shake, folks. But we thought you did a good job of being patient, or at least having control of your vehicle completely and getting through there. No damage that we seen all night long. Nicholas, you come up here, and then late in the race, some pit strategy comes into play. How big was it? We've seen what you could do. You had 20 lap older tires. You stayed out. Talk a little bit about that run. You were still relatively fast on those old tires.
Yeah, it's it's one of those things where I don't know how I do it. It's one of those things where I can't put it into words, but just give the tires a little back massage, and it'll give you another 5 or 10 laps at the same speed. So I think it's something I've been working on, especially since I've started oval like maybe a year ago. So
Well,
maybe
I'm gonna take that tip, Tar. I'm gonna give it to Adam, and when he asks me how to do it, I'm gonna tell him to give those tires a little back massage.
yeah,
But you did a marvelous job, man. Late in the race, let's get down to that. You got Willis. Willis, no slouch. And of course, you got Mann Jr. and Chilton and Gregory all up there. Reed was back up there for a bit as well. But Mann Jr. in particular had short run speed this evening. Willis always has speed. So, you had your hands full up there. What were you thinking with about, 10 to go, 15 to go?
it's it's one of those things where I really had to hold back my temptation. It was one of those things where um, setting the fastest lap is not exactly the objective. Is like a marathon. Kind of got to get to the end like first, not do the first kilometer the fastest, or the first 12 kilometers the fastest. It's whoever gets the end fastest. So I knew in the long run I had quite a lot of pace and definitely a lot of tire life. I was actually in chat with a couple of my guys, and just comparing a bit of data, and we found out that my tires were a lot better off. So I knew with 10 to go, and I looked at my relative, and it just kept climbing and climbing. The smile on my face just grew bigger and bigger, and I just knew I had it secured with about 10 to go. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, and the other thing that does play into this a little bit, or you can let us know if you think it does, and that's clean air. You got out there in the clean air, which also I would expect would help a little bit as well.
Yeah, absolutely. It does help a lot, but it was one of those things where you 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 do also have to pick your fights. Like in traffic, it's not too bad, but as you guys probably saw that best, but when Willis caught up and he was fighting with Mann, they just chewed through their tires. So definitely having clean air gives you, you
Yeah,
know,
nothing will
that.
bring a smile to a leader's face like seeing second and third side by side for about 4 or 5 laps.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So anyway, great job, Nicholas. I thought it was a great recovery and a hell of a victory out here. You really showed your might and your long run ability and your short run ability as well. So congrats to you on this victory here. We look forward now, Legends, to go to the Bristol. What do you think of that?
Oh yeah, it's definitely outside my comfort zone, but did a little bit of like the only dirt racing I've done is dirt rally too, so it's quite the difference. But something outside my comfort zone, I'm sure I'll try to adapt. But I've got a couple guys giving me a couple tips and advices from here and there, so I hope to do well next week as well.
Well, I'm sure you will, Nicholas. Race car drivers, you can't hold them back on any service in any car, and you are one of those guys. Congratulations on this victory tonight. And if you got any shout outs, anybody you want to thank, now's the time.
Yeah, first want to thank the primary sponsor. Watched the stream last time, and I finally do have a sponsor now, Picari Sweat. Um, good tasty drink. But other than that, love to thank Shorba's Racing Graphics, Pay to Win, Speedmaster, Buckkicker, and Beyond the Apex, and especially you guys for making the league possible. Like I said, after that Bristol race, like go back and watch the stream, and it's a lot of fun to see you guys having fun with the commentating. So thanks you guys, and thanks all the sponsors as well.
All right. Well, big thank you for putting on a show tonight, Nicholas. Adam, that's our race winner, Nicholas Tong, here this evening.
Yep. Congratulations, man.
I mean, what a night. Always interesting. These races, Adam. I mean, these guys, it never ceases to amaze me how it all comes together towards the end. This one, didn't come down to a last lap battle, but there were some battles within those last 20 laps. Quite impressive, man.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, man, the races I really, really enjoy their switching platform each week because this has been entertaining to watch for sure.
It is. It's super entertaining to watch. And you see here as we put up the updated points, Tong picks up 3 spots. Willis still your leader. Keith Long in second. Tong, Carrier. Carrier falls 1. Condi falls 1. McRae gains 1. And Menapace gains a couple. Some at the bottom there, William Ann Sr. and Chilton move up a few spots. But still a long ways to go here. And it's been super entertaining. And next week, boy, we'll have all the coverage every Sunday, 6:50 p.m. It's the Extreme Power League. Next week, Bristol Dirt in the Legends. It's going to be something to watch, folks. Come on out and support the league and support us and give that a watch. But for myself, Dean Doucette, and for Mr. Adam Newton, that's going to wrap it up from Chicagoland. And we'll see you right here next time on Wind Tunnel TV.